Everyone knows that there is a very clear two-tier justice system in the United States. If you're from a higher socioeconomic status or if you have certain connections, you'll get away with certain crimes. If you're poor and powerless, not so much. Case in point, we have an adorable 19-year-old, at least that's the way she's being referred to in the media, by the name of Sarah Furay. Apparently, this girl got caught with an insane amount of drugs, okay? The 19-year-old was found to be in possession of 31 grams of packaged cocaine, methamphetamine, 126 grams of marijuana, 29 tablets of ecstasy, and 60 doses of LSD. Now, if this story isn't interesting enough for you yet, keep in mind that her father is a special agent for the DEA. His name is Bill Furay, and possibly because of the connections that this young woman has, she was able to get a bail amount that was so incredibly low, only $38,000, and she was able to leave the jail that she was detained in. Now, as you guys know from stories that we've covered on the Young Turks, if a poor person gets caught with possession of marijuana, it is very likely that their bail will be higher, and it's also very likely that they're going to be given an insanely long prison sentence. Now, this woman is facing a number of charges. She could get a very long prison sentence, so I don't want to jump the gun and be too hard on our justice system in regard to her yet. However, keep in mind that there are more than 3,000 nonviolent offenders behind bar right now that have absolutely no chance of getting out of prison. They have life sentences without the chance of parole. These are nonviolent offenders, meaning that they got caught with drug possession or trafficking or something like that. So we need to do something about the way our justice system works. Do I think her life should be ruined over the fact that she wanted to sell Molly? No, probably not. But we need to treat everyone equally. That's my point. Colin, make your point.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's really unfortunate that we are trying to legislate what people can and cannot do to their bodies in general.
Yes.
So the idea, like, it's not my thing, but I think you should be able to inject or snort or do whatever the hell that you want, and let's just tax it. You know, let's get some money for schools that we don't have. In this case, I'm torn as a result because on one hand, yeah, she's breaking the law, and it really sucks when somebody who has connections gets away with something that other people are suffering for. But long term, I'd like to see it be the case that this is not illegal.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, people will hear that statement and they'll freak out because they think you're advocating for, like, injecting heroin or something. You and I are on the same page, by the way. But I just want to make sure you elaborate your point so people understand what you mean. Legalize it, regulate it.
Regulate, exactly. And that's what I mean by tax it, is that ideally we have rules for alcohol. We have rules for tobacco. If we have rules for marijuana and rules for cocaine, these things become not healthy exactly, but neither is McDonald's. So
that's exactly right.
We have a lot of unhealthy things that are regulated and hopefully contribute back to the social good.
Yeah, I had some pancakes for breakfast with like insanely sugary syrup
essentially
all over
cocaine.
it, right?
It's essentially cocaine.
I
it's
feel
like
I am
hipster
pretty
cocaine.
hopped up right now.
Yeah.
Hank, what about you? Make your point.
This will not be a McDonald's branded video first, but I know what you're saying. But right now it's sort of like we got to work with the rules of what we got. So if we're all 16, you two shouldn't be allowed to drink, and I get in trouble, right?
Exactly.
So this is just how it is. I mean, when I saw this picture and I read the story, I was this bitch was she was weighing shit. She had scales. You read this? She had scales.
She did.
She was in. I mean, she was Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
this
she
one
was.
right here. I mean, she did math. She had she had a calculator. This was a business bitch right here.
But that's the question. That's the question.
Yeah.
I mean, is she a hardened criminal or is she a savvy businesswoman?
She's a savvy businesswoman, but to your point, you know, in your utopian future, this will be regulated and not illegal. But right now, it is illegal. So what she did was wrong. I was going to say, looking at her mugshot reminds me of the Paris Hilton perp walk.
Yes.
She did 5 months for DUI. Are you kidding? She had a red carpet there. She had a red carpet out. She had a part. It was ridiculous to me. Ridiculous. Yeah. Whereas someone who was not as well connected, forget about the race thing, they'd be in there for years and years and years and years and years.
It's all about, I mean, race does play a role, but socioeconomic status, the amount of money you have, plays a bigger role. Because think about it, if you're wealthy, you can hire the best defense attorneys in the country.
Right.
And if you have those resources, you're likely to get a lower bail. You're likely to get a lower sentence or a plea bargain. And something tells me that Sarah Furay isn't too worried about her future, especially with the pose that she
You
had
can
in
see
that
it in the mugshot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, house arrest? Oh, in her mansion?
Yes.
You know, like, right?
Exactly.
Oh, I can't leave my spot. Okay. Right.
Sorry. Oh my God, like I have like the best ecstasy pills right now. I totally got them from my
hope.
DEA father.
God, I hope
and-
she talks like that. That would
She
just,
looks like she does, but I don't know.
She does. Yeah.
All right, so here is the personal question for the story. What's the biggest secret that you've kept from your parents? I love this story. Hank, I'm going to start with you.
When I was little and kind of dabbling with like school plays and musicals and kind of getting into comedy, you know, I did a few, and I remember my dad like one day driving me to a rehearsal. It was for some like Christmas musical thing. I was like in 6th grade. I remember him being like, I will do everything I can to keep you from doing Broadway. And he said it so somberly, and so I was like, holy shit. And so as like the artistic bug never went away, it just became ingrained. I was like, I cannot share my dreams or my aspirations with my family. So I did it all behind their back, and I'm okay. So
And they're accepting of it now?
I mean, we don't talk. We don't talk.
Yeah.
But I mean, they. I'm doing okay.
Yes.
I'm so yeah.
Good,
I
good.
mean,
Look, you got to follow your dreams, right? And I get where you're coming from.
Right.
Like I come from a very hardcore immigrant family, and you don't play by certain rules. You're considered like the outcast. Like I have a relationship with my immediate family, but that's pretty much it.
Right.
And it's because of decisions I've made in my life.
Right,
You
right.
know.
Well, which quickly just to add on this, take 20 seconds. But you know, they were not happy with the acting thing first, and then they were really like it was like the 1-2 punch when then I came out, and then I decided that enough was enough. And then when I started booking television and they started seeing me on television, apparently it was all okay again. So I was
That's
like, that's
amazing.
weird to me because I'm playing very gay characters on TV. Ain't no one's going back in the closet now.
I
So,
think with
yeah.
the acting thing, at least when it came to my parents telling me that I couldn't act, because when I was a kid, that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
They were worried that, like, let's keep it real, that I'm gonna fail and then be depressed and unsuccessful.
Right.
So maybe that's what it was. And then now you're kicking ass, and it's like, okay, we're kind of proud.
Kind of, right, something to brag about. Right, I
Yes,
understand.
exactly.
Yeah.
Colin, what about you?
I'm so glad I'm not an actor. I got very, very lucky in the parent lottery. These are the types of parents that I was living out in LA running a successful branding studio, and I called them up and said, you know, I think I'm gonna like just close my studio and I'm gonna travel the world. Maybe I'll like write or something. And they just said, okay, well, if you need a plane ticket home, let me know.
That's amazing, man.
So I got really lucky. Don't hide much from them. When I was younger, though, Catholic background, my entire family, we didn't talk about sex or anything even close to sex. The talk that I got from my dad, I remember very distinctly because it was very short.
Yeah.
Driving me back from my first girlfriend's house because I couldn't drive yet. And he turns down the radio and says, you know you have a responsibility.
Oh my God.
And I just nod. And he nods and turns the radio back on.
Oh my God.
I think that's as close as we got when I was a kid to talking about it. So there was a lot of that stuff going on when I was younger. That
Yeah, seriously.
No dice.
Oh my God.
So the secret you hid from your parents is that you were having sex? Is that what?
That was my secret until I was like 28.
To answer
I
that
was
question,
being-
me too, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
I was being very coy.
It's so funny. So I had one really big secret that's no longer a secret, and then one current secret that is a secret with my dad. My big secret was that I had sex. My mom asked me when I was 28 whether or not I lost my virginity, and she asked me in like the most uncomfortable way. We're at Target, we're in like the dollar section of Target, and she's like, you know, Anahit, I just wanted to ask you, did I have sex, Mom? Yes, I'm 28. I've had sex. Like, you should be happy about that. If I was 28 and I said I hadn't had sex yet, then that's when you can be concerned.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
There's something wrong with that. By the way, at that point, I had been with someone for like 7 years. So love you, Mom. I know a lot of moms want to be in denial about that. The biggest secret I have right now is I'm an atheist and my dad doesn't know. And so I'm getting married in September of next year. And my dad, when we went to go look at venues to have the wedding, I decided to do the ceremony at the same venue where the reception's taking place. My dad's like, what do you mean? But what about church? And I was like, oh, I'm not going to get married in a church because, you know, Christians' families coming out of town, from out of town. I don't want to like be an inconvenience. I want it all to take place in the same place. And he's like, okay, I get pastor for you. And I was like, no, I don't want a pastor. And he's like, okay, I don't understand. I was like, we'll talk about it later. And we haven't talked about it since.
That's a hard
So on the
conversation.
day of the wedding, I'm just going to do my own thing and hopefully he won't notice.
Does he watch the show?
No,
Oh,
my
okay, you're good.
dad's
Then you're
70.
good.
There's no way he watches
This is
the
going to be
show.
the one he watches, and he's gonna be like, oh.
I wonder what Anna doing right now. Click.
He did once ask me if I was an atheist, and I was like, no, I'm not an atheist.
That was another conversation I had at 15.
Oh, no.
It's
Not easy.
You had that conversation at 15?
I had to come out. I was teaching Sunday school, and I had to come out as an atheist to my family.
Oh my God, that's epic.
Very
I want to
difficult.
do a like sit-down interview with you. We'll set that up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
In the meantime,
have
though,
to.
guys, in the meantime, tell us what you've had to keep from your parents. What's the biggest, deepest, darkest secret? This online comment section is the place where you can air your grievances and share all your personal stories. We actually do love reading them. So comment in the section below, and we'll see you soon. Hey guys, I have an awesome new announcement for you. Turns out that The Point will be hosted on the video platform watchable.com. All you have to do is go to watchable.com and search for The Point, and boom, you'll see our videos, you'll see our content, and we really want to make sure that The Point is available on all these different and awesome, great platforms. So take a look, tell us what you think, and we'll see you soon.